to Canadian Yorker, and we are doing a town talk today regarding another Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. Um, so we are very close, getting closer to the fight date, and I want to be talking more about giving more updates this week regarding Jake Paul and Mike Tyson because the fight will happen in 11 days. So the window is getting shorter and shorter for me to be able to cover this. So I want to be able to cover this at a faster rate this week and possibly next week. So that way, I want to be able to also watch the fight. So the fight will also be on Netflix, and we'll see who the outcome will be. And I also want to give like an analysis of it and see what will happen. So here we are, guys. We're talking about Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, and so just giving you guys the update from September. Um, in September, on September 15th, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson were in Texas, in Arlington, Texas, uh, for they were at the Cowboys versus Saints Week 2 matchup. They were there in both at the game in Texas. So this article is taken from WFAA.com, written on September 15th, 2024. So the article says the legendary boxer, dubbed the baddest man on the planet, and the man looking to take him down showed up at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, ahead of the Cowboys Week and Saints Week 2 matchup. So Mike Tyson and Jake Paul were in attendance at the game 2 months before they squared off in the same building that they were in Arlington, Texas. Originally scheduled for July 20th, Tyson and Paul fight was rescheduled to November 15th after Tyson had medical emergency mid-flight where he had the stomach ulcer. Tyson posed for the cameras pre-game on the sidelines and spoke with owner Jerry Jones and NFL legend Tom Brady, who would call the game on for Fox. Jake Paul had a few moments with the Cowboys owner Jerry Jones as well. So there, in the article, there are pictures taken with Jake Paul, and Mike Tyson standing with Jerry Jones, and Mike Tyson signing autographs. Continuing, Dallas and New Orleans kick off at noon Central Time from AT&T Stadium. The Tyson and Jake Paul fight will be aired exclusively on Netflix and will be free for Netflix subscribers. There will not be any additional pay-per-view charges. Official tickets are still available via SeatGeek, with the cheapest tickets selling for $70 and the most expensive ringside seats going for $20,000. My goodness. So that is it for the article written on WFAA.com. I'll be including this article in the comments section. Continuing, we have another article written a day later, September 16th, 2024. This is written on Dextero.com. Jake Paul urged to make Mike Tyson fight free on YouTube to prove match isn't about money. So we have a UFC champion, a UFC lightweight champion, former UFC lightweight champion, Benson Henderson. He is demanding Jake Paul to make the fight with Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson free on YouTube in order to prove that this fight that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are doing is not about money. So, in this article, it says Mike Tyson's upcoming return to the ring against influencer Jake Paul has rubbed some people the wrong way, with many speaking out against the bout over Tyson's health. We'll get to that in a second. Despite numerous warnings, Tyson has remained committed to the fight and has been unfazed by the concerns of those in the combat sports world. One such voice belongs to former UFC champ turned boxer Benson Henderson, who believes that Jake Paul is only fighting the 58-year-old of the payday for such a big event. Speaking with TalkSport, Henderson said He takes issue with the significant age gap between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. He said, quote, almost in no sport at all would a 58-year-old man stand any chance against a 27-year-old man in one-on-one combat. Continuing, he said, it's going to be really hard unless the 27-year-old is pretty low level and the 58-year-old is still high level, actively competing and actively doing stuff. That's what he said, close quote. The bout, currently slated for November 15th, is going to air live on Netflix, but Henderson is convinced that Paul should put the fight on for free if he doesn't care about money. In fact, Paul should even admitted he would be making a whopping $40 million from the fight. Henderson said, quote, it is a big money maker. I think there's literally no other reason to do that fight other than to make money. He said, Ben Henderson said, quote, if you say there is another reason to do the fight, okay, do it for free. You're a YouTube star, right? Sure, no problem. Go do it for free. Put it on YouTube for free and still have that fight. Then tell me it's more than the money. He says, continuing, it's all about the money, which is cool. I respect the people doing whatever it is they want to do to make their money. No disrespect for that. People have got to pay their bills. People have got to make money. So if that's what you want to do to make money, no problem. I'm not just the biggest fan of it. While this is what he said, close quote. While it's in doubt that such a high-profile match will suddenly be free, Mike Tyson himself either suggested that his big boxing return is all about his payday at the end. During an appearance on Mike Logan Paul's podcast, Tyson shrugged off Jake Paul's bigger brother's warnings about the fight and eyed his reward for going through with what could be his final time in the ring. Mike Tyson said, quote, this is what is going to happen. Two men are going to fight. Somebody's going to win. They might fight again. And then they go to their separate banks and life goes on, Mike Tyson says. So that is what Mike Tyson has said from the Dextero.com, mentioning that. Now, mentioning Mike Tyson's health, he did have his health is mentioning that his health was a little shaky at first, and again, he mentioned again that he did have some health problems. So this article, BillBible.com, on September 17th, 2024, mentions Mike Tyson shares troubling health update 2 months before Jake Paul fight, but explains why he's pressing ahead. Continuing, the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight is less than 2 months out, and it's on November 15th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Okay, we already mentioned that. Mike Tyson recently spoke with Josh Peter at USA Today Sports and revealed that he's legitimately having trouble getting around. Mike said, quote, it's hard to walk right now, but 2 months from now, I'm going to be perfect. The quote-unquote hard to walk is not how you'd expect an athlete to be talking about themselves less than 2 months out from an extremely high-profile fight. Of course, he's going to be up against former YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul, so it isn't as if Tyson is stepping into the ring with Holyfield in his prime. But Jake's a fighter, and he's absolutely not going to be a pushover in the fight. In order to expedite recovery, Tyson told Josh he's using stem cells and electric stimulation therapy, saying, listen, he said, quote, listen, I'll do anything that will help me, close quote. The question is asked, why is Mike Tyson pushing through after troubling health updates? The article says, question, here's the thing. Mike Tyson is a dog. He's an absolute animal. The man bit off Holyfield's ear. He's a real combination of an absolute freak athlete compared with a winner's mentality where losing is simply not an option. So stepping down from this fight after experiencing health issues was never an option for Mike Tyson, even after the recent troubling health update. So when talking about forging ahead, Tyson said, quote, I could be waiting on a check every day from cannabis, and that's BS for him. I'm a man. I want to go out there and I want to expose myself to risk. Sometimes I want to see who I really am. I want to see what I'm made of. question, as he said, close quote. Um, so the article continues, says, my question is, does Jake Paul really want to see what Mike Tyson is made of? Can he possibly want that smoke? So the article writer said his friends and him used to sit around and debate how much money they'd have to be offered to take one single punch from Mike Tyson, and Jake Paul has signed up to do this. Yes, he's getting paid millions and tens of millions of dollars, and yeah, Mike Tyson hasn't fought since 2005, but this is one of the hardest hitting boxers in history. And the article says if he's Jake Paul, he is legitimately worried about his bones snapping from Tyson punching so hard. The dude tried to pay a zookeeper to let him fight a gorilla. To be fair, Jake Paul has gotten yoinked for this fight. What in the world? Oh, he's gotten so big that there have been accusations of steroid use after his dramatic body transformation. Now, Jake Paul is 230 pounds and ready to face off against Tyson in less than 2 months. Tyson is currently sparring 6 rounds at a time and will soon bump that to 10 rounds while still fighting himself, or the fight itself will be 8 2-minute rounds. Alright guys, so that is it for this article, written on September 17th, 2024. So let's continue this article. We're reading, I have 2 more articles that we're reading. This article about Jake Paul is written on September 18th. Jake Paul is finishing up boxing after Mike Tyson fight. So after he's done fighting Mike Tyson, Jake Paul has future plans ahead of fighting, continuing his fighting career. So this is written on September 18th from Indy100.com. The CEO of MMA organization PFL, Professional Fighters League, has said Jake Paul is finishing up boxing after his fight with Mike Tyson as his MMA debut is being lined up. Paul is due to fight Tyson in the AT&T Arena in Arlington, Texas on November 15th, the first event of its kind to be live streamed on Netflix. And it seems the 27-year-old YouTuber and boxer is already planning beyond that, with Peter Murray telling Sportskeeda's knockout session plans are in place for Paul to make the switch next year. We're lining it up. Jake is finishing up boxing this year with this massive fight against Mike Tyson, and a lot of planning is going into Jake Paul's debut in 2025, and we'll be sharing those details. That's what Peter Murray has said. And continuing, Peter Murray has also said Jake is committed to fighting in a very, very credible, well-rounded MMA fighter, and it's not easy to cross over from boxing into MMA. Peter Murray has also said, continuing, the crossover from MMA or from other disciplines into boxing is a lot easier, close quote. Continuing the article, it's already been postponed. Once it was scheduled to go ahead in July, but it was called off after talking about the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. That the fight was supposed to happen in July, but it's now rescheduled for November 15th. We've already been covering that every single video. Jake Paul does not have a backup fighter planned this time around, so if Tyson is unable to compete, the event would likely not go ahead at all. So if this fight gets canceled, guys, this fight is not going to happen because Jake Paul has no backup plan for Mike Tyson after Mike Tyson. So that is, we have, I believe, more article, right? We did the Ken Sharmak video. So yes, this article was written by Ken Sharmak. I'm not sorry. This article was written on benchwarmers.ie. And exactly, Jake Paul is told about beating legend Mike Tyson will feel like a death. So Ken Sharmak, MMA legend Ken Sharmak, has commented on the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, saying that this fight is not going to be good for boxing. MMA legend Ken Shamrock believes Jake Paul is in a no-win situation when he takes on Mike Tyson. Somehow, we are approaching a professionally sanctioned contest between a 58-year-old Mike Tyson and 27-year-old Jake Paul. Most in the sport are pretty horrified at the matchup, and it's hard to see how Jake Paul's stock can rise to a win. Ken Shamrock believes if he does defeat Tyson, it will leave a bad taste to boxing fans. This is what Ken Shamrock has said, quote, Here's what I say because, like I said, I think what Jake Paul and them guys are doing is brilliant. I really do. However, he says, I think them never fighting a contender but making more money than any world championship fight is brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant, but it's that this one's not good because Jake Paul can't win. Ken Shamrock also has said, quote, If Paul wins, there is a huge bad taste in the world of boxing. It's a disappointment to the organization that has loved Mike Tyson. It is like the death of somebody, and it should be victorious for Jake Paul. And I think that small group of people that are following, yes. But in that whole atmosphere of boxing, it's going to feel like somebody died. Mike Tyson is not his best. He's not what he used to be. Not even half of what he used to be. So I'm not betting on it because I know Mike could beat him at half his best because he was that good and he's got that much power still. But the problem remains is whether or not Mike can last long enough to be able to land a punch. Because if he doesn't, Jake Paul is going to beat him because Jake Paul is a good boxer. That's what I don't want to see. And it's not because I don't like Jake Paul. It's because I love Mike Tyson. I do. I think everything he's done for boxing and what he's done in his career, he doesn't need this. So that is what Ken Shamrock has mentioned regarding Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson, that this is not going to be a good look for boxing and for Mike Tyson for that matter. Interestingly enough, there's one last article that I want to close up this video with, mentioning Mike Tyson. This is written on thesun.com. Mike Tyson finally reveals why he's fighting Jake Paul, insisting it's not a mega payday instead of a head of crossover class. So Mike Tyson has finally revealed why he's fighting Jake Paul, and it has nothing to do with the mega payday he'll receive for the bout. The boxing legend will lace up his gloves and in November at the ripe old age of 58 for a controversial crossover clash with the YouTuber sensation. Iron Mike looked at the shell of a man who struck fear into the hearts of heavyweights in the late 80s and early 90s when he turned to the ring for a COVID clash with Roy Jones Jr. in November 2020. Money is at the top of many fight fans' lists of reasons why the near pensioner-aged Tyson has decided to throw down with the 27-year-old. But the weed mogul recently said, I could be waiting on a check every day from cannabis. And he said, that's BS for me. I'm a man, I want to go out there, and I want to expose myself to risk. So, continuing, Tyson said, sometimes I want to see who I really am. I want to see what I'm really made of. I want to perform in front of the world. To me, that's all I ever knew how to do since I was 14. This fight's not going to change my life financially enough. This is just what I want to do. The addictive feeling of have his hand raised also plays a huge factor in the former undisputed heavyweight champion's decision to return to the ring. Tyson said, quote, I'm a glory junkie. I love people thinking about me all day. I'd rather live a short life of glory than a long life of obscurity. It's just who I am. Continuing, Tyson also said, this all I started fighting for to get all this status. I'm going to be chasing it for the rest of my life. I know that. I know I'm never going to get what I want because I'm one of those gluttons for pain. I can never get enough. The whopping 31 age difference between Tyson and Paul was the root cause of the outrage surrounding the Texas tussle, and Tyson set alarm bells ringing this month by admitting his grueling training camp is taking a toll on his body. In frank admission, he said, it's hard to walk right now, but 2 months from now, I'm going to be perfect. This fight is more in the gym. That is the article written from thesun.com talking about what Mike Tyson has revealed why he's fighting Jake Paul. So, everyone, this is another update that I'm bringing to you regarding the situation going on. It's still due to change, and I'll be definitely be bringing more updates this week. So stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.